Welcome to Everything Currency. This is a show where we talk about everything crypto and Mo. I'm your host Jay, and today I want to talk to you guys a little bit about Mo today because some crazy things are going on in this market, the overall world market. We see the Chinese real estate bubble having some type of fear trickle down through the markets. So before we get into that, I just want to say hope you guys had a good weekend. Didn't really talk to you guys over the weekend, but I hope you guys had a good weekend. And besides this market being pretty dippy, hope you guys are having a nice Monday. So right now we got the fear and greed index in crypto at around 50, and this is because the Chinese real estate company, this Evergrande thing, is sending shockwaves throughout all of finance right now. It's all the talk of today, and I'm going to try to explain to you a little bit about what's going on right here. So Evergrande, this Chinese real estate company managing about $300 billion worth of assets, basically came out and said, we don't know if we're going to be able to pay back our debt obligations. They're invested into real estate properties, and from my understanding, a lot of these real estate properties have not been used, have not been sold, just based on how things are going on over there in China. Probably has a little bit to do with the pandemic, but I understand this whole situation of how these real estate bubbles and property work, because here in the Bay Area, we had the tech boom, right? And all these tech companies were coming out here, and rents were skyrocketing like crazy, going into like, $3,000 for like a 500 bedroom studio. And it was like crazy. So of course investors were saying, yo, I can make a ton of money over there. All I gotta do is buy a couple studios, rent them out, I'll make my money back in 2 years, blah blah blah. Well, nobody wanted to live in a $3,000 500 square foot studio, so nobody was buying these things. They're building these big tall buildings with 500 units or something like that, cramming them all together, making them real small, and nobody wanted to rent them out for the price, and investors lost a ton of money. And it's still going on right now. So in the US we have our own real estate bubble going on, but what's being said is Evergrande is kind of leading off to start China's real estate bubble pop. And this could be bad because China's a very big economy. If their economy starts to crash, it will definitely trickle through the rest of the world. And that's pretty much what's causing a lot of this fear in the stock market right now, which they're at extreme fear over there in the stock market. In crypto, we're not as fearful because people are saying, hey, this is why Bitcoin was invented, to protect against, companies like Evergrande going insolvent, doing too much investing into things that's not going to bring them money back and stuff like that. So this is pretty interesting to see what's going to actually happen right here. This is something new. I mentioned in my previous video that, hey, in one of my previous videos anyway, that, hey, the only thing that I felt like could really bring this market down and bring everything to a halt will be some type of black swan event in the overall markets, and this might be that type of black swan event. Now, there's the reason why I say might like that is because there's some investors and some insiders in China who came out and with this information a long time ago, saying, hey, this company is actually doing pretty bad. If you're invested over there, you might want to get out. There's a couple reports about, I think the GameStop guy gave a report about this company being pretty, not managing their money well, let's just say that. So very interesting. Going on to these charts, there were some things on the charts where that might back up that idea that, hey, this was already going on for a while. Maybe the Chinese government might have some type of smoke screen going on, or maybe the Chinese government might have a plan for this. They might bail them out. But there was some people saying, hey, look, if we look at the S&P right here, which is this orange line, and we look at these bars down here, which is a transportation index, they said the S&P was diverging away from the transportation index, and that's not good, right? Basically saying if goods are selling, goods are moving around, and that's what we want to see. We want to see the transportation index kind of showing us where the S&P is going, but the S&P was going straight up and the transportation index was going straight down. So we've seen divergence right there. People were expecting this type of major crash in the stock markets, and pretty interesting just something else to note that some people were actually expecting this crash to happen. With the whole pandemic situation, markets have been rocky ever since then, and the US government basically came out and said, hey, we're gonna have to stop all this stimulus. soon, it's not good for the overall markets. Keep in mind, China has also been doing stimulus in other countries as well, so this could be very interesting to see. I'm pretty neutral right now. I'm excited to see what happens. Basically, got to have a plan for each way. So when it comes for me to have a plan for each way, first thing I'm going to look at is the total market cap of all the cryptocurrency right here. And what I have, these little yellow lines marked out right here, looks like what was probably a bull flag, a bear flag. If you pull this out and pull this down, you will see that like, hey, it's about 75% of the target. There is a bear flag going on right here that just played out. Overall, on the monthly chart is super overextended. So I mentioned it a couple times before that I wanted to see this market pump before this monthly chart decides to cool down. I wanted to see one last pump before this market decides to pull down, and we're not basically headed straight down yet. This could still be the case. We still haven't closed the week below this 43,898 level, so that's also something that I'm paying attention to pretty close. Now, a lot of these altcoins are starting to recover today. They hit some lows, and they're still like Avalanche, for example, was down about 30% on the day, so it kind of recovered a little bit, but there still could be further down drops in the whole market, because the total 2 on the daily looking like it might want to have a 13 and 34 cross to the downside, which would pretty much not be good. But what I would like to see is kind of this 13 come down, kind of chill like this, and then come back up, and then the 34 kind of do something similar like that, and then they cross again, and then when they cross again, that will be the second cross on that 1334 strategy right there. So that's my wishful thinking for the overall crypto markets if this China FUD turns out to just be FUD. And I just wanted to say, yeah, it is FUD. It's fear, uncertainty, and doubts. We don't know what's going to happen. We are doubting that it's either going to go up or down, but most importantly, like we're uncertain. We don't know. So let me know what you guys think about the entire video. How I'm playing this thing out is I'm watching these final levels that I drew on this chart last week, and I'm saying these are levels that we need to close above for me to stay in this market and always take profit. I don't really say that enough, but I always take profit. When things spike, if a coin goes up 2x, you better take some profit, or else what are you doing this for? You got to take profit on your cryptocurrencies when they do spike, and then when prices dip, you might have a little bit more money to buy the dip. Now, none of this is financial advice. This is just me trying to explain this in the easiest way that I can of the things that are going on in this market. So let me know what you guys think about the entire video. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and think positive, and positive things will happen. RIP to crypto roots. Till next time, peace.